Hey garden friends, do you love containers? I do. And I'm going to take you along to plant up a spectacular one for this summer. So let's get rolling. So this, my friends, is the galvanized tub, the planter container I am going to plant up for this summer. Now there's still some daffodils left in here. I dug out the center daffodils so that I can put this plant in here. And I will trim back some of the violas. They're still doing beautiful. They all were free seeders, so I just left some of them in here. I will prune back some and or pull them out. I'll see how it goes because I have another flower plant to put in here with the main plant. Now, you know me, I don't like tons of different colors in a container. I like to keep it simple and straightforward. And it suits my brain better. So it just keeps it calmer in my mind rather than a ton of different plants in here. So that's just the way I fly. Can you see this down here? This is it's either Angelina sedum, coral sedum, or it's the lemon coral sedum. I don't know which one. I have both, and they're very similar. So, but this one, it rooted into the crack between the bark and this stump. The stump is rotting away. So, I don't know, I had a pot sitting here and it just laid down on it and rooted. And it's doing great. I just splash it every now and then with a little bit of water and it just stays. It's just really an interesting little thing. Okay, so what plant am I going to start with? Now I'm going to warn you, there's going to be, and it just reminded me, a truck went by of a construction crew. And they're working next door on the back deck, so you'll hear some construction noise. But here is my main event in here. Now I pruned it back because it had been blooming gorgeously. And this is Sunbelievable Brown-Eyed Girl Helianthus. Takes full sun. This spot does get a lot of sun. And it says extraordinary summer color with large vibrant blooms. This award-winning heat-tolerant annual produces over 1,000 flowers in a single season from spring until first frost. Forms a dense mound, excellent in borders and containers for non-stop sunny color. Now this container, this is the pathway, the main pathway that goes behind my deck and is in part of the Secret Cottage Garden. I will step back later and show you more. If you've seen my garden tours, you'll recognize it. So this is a place that I walk by every single day. I walk down this path to go to my chicken pen to feed them. And so this will be a perfect spot for this where I can enjoy it every single day, several times a day. So it gets 3 feet wide and 3 feet tall. Well, I'm going to plant something underneath of it that likes a little bit of shade. So it'll be perfect complement with this. And we'll see how it does all summer long. So I am going to get it planted up. As I said, there is a hole here deep enough for this plant, I do believe. So let me pop it out of its pot. There is a drip line in here, you can see, from what I had in it last year. So let me pop this out of this container. This is a Monrovia plant specimen. I do love Monrovia plants. They're beautiful, high-quality plants, and they're locally available here in California a lot. So I'm just going to can you see what I'm doing? I'm loosening up the roots on the bottom. So there, I need to go a little bit deeper because it's sitting a little high. So I will dig out just a little bit more soil and probably toss it over there on top of my lamium. Now my lamium looks dirty. Or I can also loosen more soil off of here and then it'll sit down lower. And these can spread out into the soil. I'm hoping I'm in the camera for you. Okay. Keep having to move the fold. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. Perfect. So there's that. Now I have been letting the daffodil foliage die naturally that helps to store energy in the bulbs. And so even though it can look a little bit messy, it won't take long for this to be done, especially as by next week we're going to be in the 90s. So I thought this was a good time to get this planted. It's only going to be in the 80s until then, low 80s. And so it can get, kind of rooted well. As well as I'm going to water this in with Organic Rev. Ideally, I would have soaked it in the Organic Rev. It is a root stimulant that would help the roots to get established faster, therefore make it healthier. But I have to hurry and get this done before the sun comes and it's too bright here. So I will make do with watering it with the Organic Rev product when it's done. Alrighty, so I'm thinking that these violas are just a little too gangly and messy looking. So I will pull them out. Now, if you've watched my garden video tours, you will know that I have a whole field of free-seeded violas. So I'm not too worried about getting rid of some. But if it hurts you, look away while I pull them out. So I've got a big old blue jay over there on the fence trying to get to the bird feeder. I changed the angle a little bit so I could get more into the camera. So let me share with you the other plants. Now, I've had these too long in their little pots, and I should have gotten these planted out sooner, but just that's the way how things are around here. Now, is this one, I'm going to have to move that plant, I think, so it's not in your way. Unless I move again. I guess I could move the camera again. So, there's those two lobelias. And then I have two lighter blue lobelias. So don't you think, as this fills in, this is going to get much taller. Don't you think that this will just be a gorgeous display? Now, the lobelias do like a little bit cooler, so this shading them partly will be perfect. So I'm just going to get these all planted in, and let me get some pruners to trim back the already browned daffodil foliage, and then it will neaten it up that much more. Okay, let me get down in here, and hopefully that backlight is not too annoying. And I'm just gonna prune back the ones that are yellowed and or are damaged already. Okay, so making sure I do not harm my irrigation pipe. I'm going to dig a divot for this to go into. These are nice 4-inch pots. This is a Monrovia lobelia. Let me loosen up this roots just a little so that it can spread out rather than staying in place. Let me read the tag for you. So let's see, this one is called Magadi Compact Blue Lobelia. Heat tolerant, oh, that's great. Brilliant color and compact habit. A strong performer for gardens, containers, and baskets. I got a mosquito after me. 3 to 6 hours morning sun. Low once established watering. Maturity size 6 to 10 inches. High 8 to 12 inches wide. Blooms spring, summer, and fall. Hardy to 0. I've never had hardy lobelia before. That is great to know. We'll see how this does through winter. Usually lobelia, they get killed off in the winter. So if this is a perennial lobelia, that's all the more better. Let me see what the hardiness for this, unbelievable. 30 to 40. No, it will not overwinter. Now, I could try to take it into the greenhouse. That might work. So I could dig it up in the fall and take it in. We'll see. It's worth a shot. But when I saw these on, I can't remember where I saw them, probably advertised by Monrovia, the Sunbelievable. It was so gorgeous. And I love that pop of yellow. And I do grow black-eyed Susans in my garden. They do quite well. This is a stem that I knew I wanted one that bloomed longer and more prolifically. So, because I get such joy from my black-eyed Susans. Some people call them brown-eyed Susans. They're both the same plant, pretty much. So these will cut off the yellow tips. Because once they're yellow, they're no longer helping. The yellow part isn't, so. Okay, so let's get that. Now bury these other ones. Now these dark blue ones, I don't think, let me see, this one is hot dark blue, lobelia, part shade 8 to 12 inches. Let me see if it has a hardiness on it. No, it doesn't. Space 6 to 8 inches, shaped, covers, compact plants, wonderful borders, but it doesn't. I'd have to look it up, but I have a feeling this one is not winter hardy at all. Okay, let's pull these out of the way. Got this direct. I'm trying to space them as evenly as possible. Yeah, I'm going to have to pull out these violas, because I just can't get in there with them in here. I will compost those, and they will work just fine. Okay. This is going to be such a gorgeous. Oh, these are really rip bound. Oh, wow. Look at that. So, yeah, this is going to need a lot of help. So you see how now it has spikies on the end? I will also slice like this. And then those roots will go outwards into this soil. And this will definitely get a good shot of the organic Rev. Okay. Can be a little tricky working around the foliage of the daffodils, but they're such gorgeous daffodils. If I can find the photo of them or a piece of video, I will show you. Excuse me. So those blooms have already been spent. Normally I would turn this, but I have that irrigation hose hooked to it, and it would not work well. Okay, so here is another one. Dig the hole. Making sure I'm spacing them as evenly as possible, but get them between the daffodil bulbs. Okay, yeah, this one's... I think I got these at Lowe's on the bargain rack. These lighter blue ones. Or I got it at maybe the nursery, family nursery that I just love going to. I may have gotten them there. Alrighty. Okay, one last one to get planted, and then I will make up a gallon jug of the Rev. And I will make sure I come back and I share with you what this looks like in a few weeks. I'm sure it's going to fill in and be gorgeous, especially once it heats up. Okay, get that down in there. Is that too close? That's too close. I got to move it over. Okay, I will check and see. Oops, I need to get that on the other side of the irrigation hose. If I need to fill in, which looks like I need to fill in a little bit with some soil. It's very compact in here, all compressed into there. So I will check and see. I'm going to deadhead some of these. And then it's all good. But you can see, for the most part, what it's going to look like with the blue foliage, with the yellow flowers. So I've got them in place. So I'm going to get some more soil to fill in. And I have my bag over here. And my trusty ice scoop. I love this. It works so well, especially for this part of planting, filling in around the plants. I have a link to it in the description box, but you can also, I found this one of all places at at my Ace Hardware in the department with the barbecues. They had it for shoveling pellets for like a Traeger or pellet barbecues, pellet powered. And I have absolutely loved it. So I'm just filling in with some good potting soil, making sure, oops, all the roots are covered, nothing is exposed. And then I'll water with the Rev to give it a good jolt. Let me check around everywhere, make sure everything is settled in nicely. And we are good to go. All right. So, don't you love this combination? Now, I am thinking, I do have a lot of volunteer alyssum coming up over in the pathways around the circle garden, etc. I had thought of moving it into the garden beds, but I've got plenty growing there already. So I think I'm going to pop a few in here, and just that frothy white just adds something to things like this that just give it that accent without making it too busy. Now in my containers up on my deck, I used the it's by Proven Winners. It's like Diamond Frost Euphorbia, and I just love it. I don't have any more of that, so I'm going to use the alyssum instead, and I have tons of it. But if I had any of the euphorbia, I wouldn't use it, because that just, to me, just adds some airy white texture to containers. Now, adding texture to containers is really nice to add interest. And textures can refer to leaf shapes, leaf sizes, the colors. Like some have fuzzy leaves, like you have great, like the dichondra, and I found my seeds for the Silver Falls dichondra. The Silver Falls dichondra would be gorgeous in here too, to add that draping feature. And I have a plant. I should go ahead and add that in here instead of the alyssum. I wonder if I put the seeds of the dichondra directly in here, if it would grow. I'd have the one plant that I could see from this side draping, and then see if the others come in. Let's do it. Let's do an experiment, and then I'll check back in later and tell you if it did bloom, or not bloom, but germinate for me. So I'm going to do that. I know I'm always changing gears on you, but I just thought of that, and I'm thinking that'll work for me. So I have my seeds. I found them. If you had watched any of my previous videos, I had been searching high and low for these. I had lost them. They were in just a bunch of my seeds. I have too many, and I need to go through them and give away a bunch. But so here is the dichondra plant in here. Can you see? I can't see if you can see it. Now, what do you think? I'm going to set this right here for now. Do you think that that is a good contrast with this? Or do you think it would be better to go with the alyssum? Now, I could go ahead and plant the seeds. It says it'll germinate in 7 to 14 days, so within a couple weeks, I will know whether it will take. And then I could dig up and transplant any if I didn't want them in here after all. But can you just see this? These mosquitoes are terrible out here. This draping down. I don't know if I like the silver with this. Or if I would just, you know what, let's see. I could also put this. Just see this, it's already got roots right along there. Stick that in there. Do you think that would be better with it? Let me know, and we'll proceed from here. I'm going to stick this piece over here. As I said, if I don't want it in there, I can just take it out. But it'll root just like that. And put it right there. So down here I have my lamium, which is also that kind of white silvery. I could dig up pieces of it. Now, there's so many options that you can go with for something like this, and sometimes it's hard to pick one. But I will go dig up one alyssum, put it over here or over there, and then I'll decide later, because you can dig out. You really can dig out and transplant anything and give it a try. Like I'll do a different one on each area and see which one I like better. Then come back and replace the ones that I take out, that I decide I don't like. Or maybe I'll like all three of them. I don't usually like busy stuff, but as you would see it from different vantage points, it might work. So, alrighty. So now I'm going to water this in with the Organic Rev. This, I mixed it with 2 ounces to this jug of water. And now I'm going to water all of these in. I'll put a little on the dichondra there. I want to make sure I get it on the soil around everything as well as possible. I'm going to put the whole gallon in here since I didn't soak anything. Soaking it really gives it the boost, extra boost, but I didn't have the time. So, and then, excuse me for going in front of you, I will give it a little shower from my hose. Oh, it's full. Let me put it on shower. Just to rinse the leaves off. Make sure it's good and moist. And we will call that done. Let me turn. So, there you have our sunny summer container. Galvanized tub. I love galvanized metal. And I find these old tubs at junk shops and farm sales and stuff like that. So, yeah, plant it up. I've got some other little accent plants that I'm testing out before I make a final decision. And I need to rinse off my lamium down here that I dumped a bunch of soil on. But, yeah. So, tell me what you think as far as the accent plant. Should I go with the sedum, the dichondra, or white alyssum? Let me know in the comments below. I will see you in my next video, and I will be sure to bring you back and update you on this container, especially when the sunflowers is it a sunflowers? Or black-eyed Susans, whatever, get going. All right, bye. I hope you enjoyed this video, and come on back for more garden adventures here at Flower Patch. See you later.